What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call.
Talk later.
We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and greetings from Las Vegas. And you come to Las Vegas and you meet beautiful, wonderful people, right? I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and welcome to the Awakening World. And we're live at the Luxor Hotel, where the Stairway to the Stars conference is happening, with amazing speakers who've gathered from all over the world, sharing their wisdom about what's happening with disclosure, the galactic family, how to contact and connect all the different parts of our interdimensional self. And you're going to meet this amazing woman and several other leading speakers tonight. But we always want to start with great music. And of course, we are blessed, holding down the fort in Colorado, to have our beloved Omashar with us. Hello, Omashar.
Namaste, and I'm so kind of envious of not being there with you, but we're there with you now. So let's start off as we mean to continue, and welcome everybody. Welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube, and all of our broadcast partners. What an honor it is that you carry us, and here we go. Let's do it. In your mind you have capacities, you know, to telepath messages through the vast unknown. Please close your eyes and concentrate with every thought you think upon the recitation we're about to sing. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft, calling occupants of interplanetary most extraordinary craft, calling occupants of interplanetary craft, calling occupants of interplanetary most extraordinary craft. We've been observing your Earth. We'd like to make contact with you. We are your friends, calling occupants of interplanetary craft, calling occupants of interplanetary craft, calling occupants of interplanetary ultra-emissary craft. We've been observing your Earth, and one night we'll make contact with you. interplanetary, quite extraordinary craft. And please come in peace, we beseech you. Our Earth may never survive. Please, interstellar policeman, oh, won't you give us a sign that we've reached you? Oh, with your mind you have ability to fall and transmit thought energy far beyond the norm. You close your eyes, you concentrate, together that's the way to send the message we declare world contact play. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. Calling occupants of interplanetary most extraordinary craft. We've been observing your Earth, and one night we'll make contact with you. We are your friends. We are your friends. We are your friends.
That's all Twinkle, Beloved Omashar. That was beautiful. What a perfect opening song. Wow. And it's a new one, right?
What do you mean it's a new one? That's the Carpenters.
It's I didn't recognize it.
It was originally written by a band called Klaatu, Klaatu, and it was made super popular just around Roswell, and all that kind of stuff was coming out. And this was saying, we are watching you, we are in contact with you, please come. And this is how you do it. It was amazingly conscious languaging from the 1970s.
Wow. Well, I thought you just made it right now for tonight's show.
Well, I did spend about 5 hours learning it today because it's really complex. However, there it is.
Perfect start.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Omashar. And hey, everybody, we're going to have at least 2, maybe 3 more Omashar songs tonight, peppered through all the amazing interviews that we get to be meeting with people spontaneously joining us. So thank you so much, Brother Omashar, and we will be back with you very, very soon.
Namaste.
Well, we're going to have a lot of wonderful people, including the Twin Ray, possibly Daryl Anka, who you know is the channel for Bashar, and several others. But I am really excited with this woman that I just met today. She's one of the most popular people here, and this is Sarah. Her full name is Sarah Breskman Cosma, and she is the holistic hypnotist. So now what does that mean, being the holistic hypnotist?
Well, essentially what my day job is I regress people and I take them to the very deepest level of trance. And then I go through either like a past life or lives, but the main goal of the session is to actually access their higher consciousness. And in that way, I can find out anything about a person. So they can find things out like what their true purpose is in this lifetime, who they really are. And then they can even heal themselves.
Wow.
So
Go ahead
it's
and look to the
like-
camera. As much as I enjoy looking at you, go ahead and look to my audience.
It's really profound. I love what I do because I can find out so many different things about the cosmos. And to me, that's so exciting. Like I'm so passionate about all this stuff because as a hypnotherapist, you know, in doing this method, which is essentially Dolores Cannon's method, that's what I do. I really feel like I know so much about the world and I'm so much less stressed out. I don't have the same type of fears and things that I used to have. It's really transformed my life just because I understand these concepts and the higher consciousness that comes through my clients when they're deep under hypnosis. has so much like profound information to share. And that's why I share it all over the place like this. And I'm the author of the Hypnotist Journey books. So I've written A Hypnotist Journey to Atlantis, The Secrets of the Sphinx, and From the Trail to the Star People. And that's what I do.
So just to be clear, what happens is in your hypnosis sessions, people go back and they report what actually happened at Atlantis, what actually happened with the Sphinx.
Right.
Okay, so what are a couple of little things you can share that you've learned, like say about Atlantis?
So what's really fascinating is I didn't really know any of this stuff, and I wasn't an expert or even trying to become an expert whatsoever. I just wanted to regress one of my friends that I had been friends with for over 10 years because she had this brain condition called pseudotumor cerebri. And basically what was happening is there was so much spinal fluid flooding her brain, and there was a huge risk of a stroke. She was losing vision out of one eye, and she was working really closely with a team of specialists at the University of Miami who told her there's no cure for this. And she was only 32 and had little young children. So she wanted to try this method, Dolores Cannon's method, because she really had nowhere else to go. But I knew she didn't believe in any of this stuff because we had been friends for 10 years. And so when I asked her if she wanted to do something like this, she only wanted to do it because she thought there was a potential she could heal herself. So in our first session together, I regressed her, and she all of a sudden went back to this ancient civilization in her memory of this beautiful society in the South Pacific. And she could just recount like this society in so many details. I mean, she could even smell the flowers and see the birds and hear what they sounded like. And it was a matriarchal society. We came to understand that this society was called Aman to her people, or Lemuria, as other people call it, or Mu. But neither one of us knew anything about this society. And she recounted that it was a matriarchal society. And the reason was so interesting, that women were the natural leaders because they passed through their subconscious knowledge down to their daughters about this different plants and the different properties the plants had. They also had really interesting ways that they used crystals in order to contact their ancestors.
Wow.
And also for immunity, they used a sacred symbol. So like the flower of life pattern actually was a symbol that they would use, and they would meditate on it. This is what they would do in ancient Lemuria, meditate on it. And actually these sacred symbols are like coded keys that we can look at, and it's almost like a key that goes into a lock and it downloads transmission. So anyway, as I was going through this past life with my friend, who I knew didn't even know any of this stuff, or she didn't even really believe in past lives, she started recounting that there were these visitors that were showing up that were humans, that were people, but they traveled in these like travel spheres, and they wanted something from her society. And when they couldn't get it, they took her as a prisoner, and then they put these like atomic like devices in rifts under the ocean and created these massive tidal waves that she watched destroyed the whole civilization. So the two different waves came and they built up, and they kind of like sunk the entire continent of this place that we came to understand was Lemuria. And they took her as a prisoner to this really advanced society, and she remembered spending about 60 years in this place that we came to understand was Atlantis. And they were using things like stem cell research. They had really interesting technology that was so foreign to the both of us because none of us knew anything about Atlantis at the time. And after I went through that past life with her, I then asked to speak with her higher consciousness. And so I asked her higher consciousness, why did you show her this lifetime? You know, why did you show my friend this lifetime? Could have shown her many different lifetimes. And they said that the two of us had decided before coming into this life that we would uncover together and share this information, that the world had been waiting for thousands and thousands of years because the evolution, this is what they were saying, and neither one of us knew what they were talking about. said that the evolution of the consciousness was hitting the point where it was safe to share this stuff now, and that the two of us had decided that we would come into this life, uncover this, and share it with the world because the world had been waiting for it. So then I asked the higher consciousness, what is the very root cause of her brain condition? And they said it was just a catalyst to get her to come see me.
Wow.
So then I said, okay, well, she did come see me. Can you release it now? And my friend felt it start draining. So it starts draining behind her left eye. And I woke her up from her session and she's like, oh my God, I feel better. Like, you should have seen her face. She was ecstatic. So she decided on her own, she wasn't going to take her medication, see what happened. But she was working really closely with our team of specialists. So she goes back to our team of specialists and she was completely healed.
Wow.
And so the two of us decided, okay, well, something's really important that we're supposed to uncover because, we didn't know this information. So like, I'm new to this stuff. Okay. So I regress here and I tell the higher consciousness, take us back to the beginning of the story that we want us to share with the world. What has everyone been waiting for thousands and thousands of years for? And so all of a sudden, I'm taking her back in her memory, just letting the higher consciousness take her back. I thought that they were going to take her to her memories in Lemuria, and we would start from the beginning of that lifetime and uncover it. And that was the beginning of the story. That's what I thought. But no, they decided to take her to a lifetime when she was an extraterrestrial coming to the Earth planet for the first time. They said that's the beginning of the story. So then I worked with her and we uncovered from the beginning, like where she came from. And she originated from this place in like the Pleiadian star system. They were running out of resources. And it was so fascinating because what they used to do and the different practices where she came from were so interesting. And they needed to come see the planet Earth for, multiple reasons. But one of them was that Earth was filled with this resource. So what they used to do in her home planet, whatever you want to call it, realm or whatever, they would create like this vortex using crystals. And it was so interesting because every person that lived there had to go into this vortex at least once because it would shock you into enlightenment. And it was only then that you knew that you were everyone that you saw. So they needed to do this. It was like an initiation passage. And what happened was, because I took her through the process, I really wanted to know what they did. So I had her remember and go step by step through the process. When you go into this realm that they would create with these specific crystals and also using their mind to create this realm, the first thing they would see is that everything kind of worked in like a figure 8 pattern. So they would see that what happens is time kind of folds up on itself. So it's like a figure 8 pattern. There's no end and no beginning. And then you would see, as you're starting to look at everything, the full nature of reality. And so the real nature of reality is that this life is kind of set up like a game, like certain type of initiations and in order to play this game, but that this game has been going on for longer than you could possibly comprehend in the aspect of time. So like every person that you meet is part of this ancient like society, and we've all been doing this for so many times. Like there was even a universe in the place of this universe that has already been destroyed, and then a new universe comes. That's how ancient everyone is. Like we're all part of this group, and we just continuing having these experiences so that we can keep expanding our soul and our consciousness. And there's no end and no beginning. It just keeps overlapping on itself. So anyway, we started from the beginning and uncovered it. And I did what they said. I published it in my first book, A Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis. And, it's just been a wild ride ever since. And I'm really enjoying it. And I find myself just going to all these places and sharing it. But I love it because I'm learning too.
Yeah.
Like I started out totally new to all this stuff, but I'm learning so many different concepts from doing this work that it's really mind blowing to me. So
Well, there's all sorts of comments coming in from my friends, and one of the people asked about how do we get the book. There's
it's on
actually a
Amazon.
few. So here's a few things. Let me first of all introduce how you can learn all about Sarah. And that's by going to her website. And her website is theholistichuhypnotist.com. Theholistichuhypnotist.com. Unfortunately, you can't book a session with her because she's all full up, as you can imagine, because everybody wants to have the experience you provide. But I'm going to take you to the bookstore first. So if you click on store and you scroll down, here is your Hypnotist's Journey to Atlantis. Now, this is the newest one.
This is my first book.
That's your first book. Okay, that's the first one you wrote. There's the Spanish version. Then the hypnotist version of the Sphinx, all about the Sphinx. And then you've got the new one about the Trail to the Star people. Wow. So this is where we can really learn about the real history of this planet. There's one other thing you might be interested in. She does have one retreat that has space left to be upcoming events. Okay.
Yeah.
So we go to upcoming events, and there it is. You're doing it out of kind of your home base. She's in South Florida, and you go down to the Florida Keys for your retreat. Now, what's your retreat going to be like?
Oh, well, that has 3 days of past life regressions and deep inner healing work, because one of the things a higher self said is that the best thing we can really do to make a difference is to become your own spiritual master of yourself, to really deep dive into yourself. And that when you really master yourself, what happens is it actually leaves a permanent imprint on the consciousness. So if you really want to make a difference by mastering yourself, this permanent imprint never leaves the consciousness. So you actually shift all of the consciousness by mastering yourself, changing your perceptions, getting rid of all your limiting beliefs. So that is what they have said is the best thing to do. And I help people do that in my workshops.
March 8th, 9th, and 10th, 2024. And springtime and the Keys, that's an amazing time to be down there. I want to learn all that you have to share. I want to have those experiences. That'd be wonderful.
Why don't you come on down?
I just might. Now, I know you're going to be on a panel in 6 minutes. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And thank you guys, wonderful people. Have a great rest of your night.
And I'll see you hopefully sometime tomorrow.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Isn't that fascinating? I mean, what an amazing opportunity to learn the real history of our planet through this woman who hypnotizes people. And I mean, wouldn't it be cool to get hypnotized by her, learn about your past lives and all of that? So anyway, between Omashar's opening song, thank you, Sylvia, for putting her link into the chat box. And I see a lot of Dia. I saw somebody's birthday. But I missed who it was. So whoever's birthday it was, welcome. And come on up, Geraldine. So we're going to go right from one amazing person into the next. And some of you remember Geraldine Orozco. She's been on the show a few times. And welcome, Geraldine.
Hi. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I had the good fortune to spend some time with Geraldine last night. We went to spend the evening with the Twin Ray, had a lovely dynamic conversation. But for our audience that doesn't remember you, tell us a little bit about kind of who you are and what you provide.
Yeah, so my name is Geraldine Orozco. I'm an epigenetic psychotherapist. And my primary area of work is studying holographic DNA and the structures of the morphogenetic field and how they relate to our ascension and the purpose of our soul through that evolution. That's one of my primary areas. So I'm a clinical hypnotherapist as well, and I hold space for people helping unblock energetic fields, and I train meditation and really proactive energy work.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
And what's it like for you being here at the lecture? What has stood out for you from the conference so far?
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, the panels, for me, what's so exciting is the amount of people that are here and the willingness of people to really come into this healing and openness. And just, I love how people are turning towards themselves to do this work, you know, and then they're looking for the information. So that's amazing.
And
It's my favorite part.
you got a chance to spend some time with the Twin Ray, and a lot of our people watching are part of the Twin Ray community. What was your thoughts and your experience being with them last night?
Yes, it was wonderful to meet them, wonderful beings, and it's a pleasure. Yes.
Now, when you're doing your work with people, and I was really intrigued when you describing it to us last night. Tell my audience a little bit, and you can look at the audience, even though I enjoy looking at you. Tell them a little bit more about your work and how it's helping people to understand the ways that they can connect to their interdimensional, multidimensional self.
Well, I think the number one message here is essentially to understand that we're multidimensional. And what does that mean? Understanding that rather than connecting with mechanical structures and practices, you understand that you're organic. And that means that you're interacting with a morphogenetic field of information. Your entire existence came into manifestation for a very specific purpose at this time. And so the key is to understand yourself, to learn yourself deeply, deeply, so that you can understand how to break those cyclical patterns, those ancestral patterns that you are cycling through in your DNA, your genetic, your ancestral history, both terrestrially and also interdimensionally. So if you can begin to become aware of that, deprogram those belief systems and begin to come in and building your morphogenetic field and the awareness of how to navigate the non-physical realm. This is something that has been studied for, centuries. All the ancient cultures talked about practicing being conscious at the time of death, so that when you die, when you're leaving the body, that you understand what you're choosing. And understanding that free will is really something that is only available to you when you know that you have free will. So that requires a level of deprogramming of separation that is really deep, in order to begin to integrate those fractals of yourself, traumas, and then in that time of death, the parts of you interdimensionally. So interdimensional contact is important because it's part of that refinement of your soul, essentially.
Do you find that when people are connecting to their multidimensional self, that the information they get is actually the higher self letting us know what we most need to know to understand this life, or is it just random?
Well, no, actually, it's by vibrational frequency and resonance. Okay, so we are infinite potential, and we have potential available to us at all times. Depending on our frequency, we can tune in to these potentialities, which become available to you depending on the work that you're doing and the work that you're not doing. So really, you really are a creator in a sense, but the way that you're creating is it's multidimensional and simultaneous. Even in healings like hypnotherapies and sessions like this, the information that you're accessing in those moments are very specific to what you need at this moment. Not only yourself, but the role that you play in the collective, okay? And so essentially the entire human race is evolving, and we are moving through vibrational frequencies collectively that are opening information more. That's why they say the veil is thinning. So as this veil thins, we are accessing more information. Some people feel overwhelmed right now because of this information, but it's really important to train yourself, alchemy, to be able to come into as much of a neutral state as possible and let go of any fears, any kind of, separation mentality, so that we can reunify with these parts of us that we become aware of in this process.
Do you find that it's happening just with a very small fraction of people, or do you think that it's happening more than we realize?
Oh, every single human is shifting frequencies collectively. We are going through evolution, is just the nature of this existence, really. So, and people receive information in different ways. Some people receive it in dreams. Some people receive it in their everyday experiences. Their level of consciousness will help them understand and translate those experiences. But the ability to question and ask the questions is opening up for us. The way that technology is advancing incredibly as well. it's remember that, technology is mimicking nature.
Right.
So nature is as we come into more union with nature, we become aware of this organism like in a more holistic way. That's kind of
Well, I want to say that's to me very inspiring. The idea that actually everybody is waking up, because it's easy for us in the kind of new age, new thought world to feel like, okay, well, we're hip to all this stuff, but what about the people that are killing each other? But it's beautiful and inspiring that actually everybody in their own unique way is raising their consciousness.
Well, the thing is that we are temporarily experiencing duality, right? So we need to remember that. And there are certain laws to this universe that we're kind of abiding by, okay? And so to experience this duality is part of maintaining some kind of harmonic balance in the collective. So there's always going to be some kind of contrast. And without that contrast, we really cannot create that transduction process of alchemy within ourselves and within this world outside of us. Every hateful thing, wars that we see external are exactly the wars and the internal separation we have within us. So, we need to integrate that war internally in order to be able to see that change externally. And eventually, there will always be contrast in some way, but the octave of that contrast is shifting as we move in this evolutionary cycle.
Wow. I'm going to read, I'm seeing some comments coming in from our audience. Mark Danisovsky writes, Geraldine's seminar in June was phenomenal.
Cool.
Deeper than anything I've ever experienced, with epigenetic studies and practical implementation of solutions. So that's pretty cool. Adora, welcome. Happy birthday, Adora. And Reverend Jeffrey reminding us that Levolution is all about, and he's got the NDE video that he's putting up there. And George, remembering your show with Krista Maria that you did the last time you were on our show. And while we're talking about that, I'm seeing more and more comments coming in. Reverend Jeffrey asking about the science of the morphogenetic field. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, to simplify things, the morphogenetic field is, if you could say, the instruction manual from which form comes into manifestation, okay? So if you think about that, we are an interconnected system, and really your existence, I mean, the fact that you have manifested into the physical is generations, lifetimes, ancestors that have made choices that literally brought your essence, your soul into the manifestation at this perfect time in order to pull forward your lineage, which is actually part of a collective. The entire human race is participating in this evolution. And so more awareness that we have about, how we're contributing to that through epigenetics, because essentially what it is that everything that's surrounding us is affecting and editing our genetic code. So emotions, because we're bioelectric, remember, we're bioelectric systems, then that emotion is a charge that we put in, right? So we need to be aware of the charge that we're putting in the input of this holographic system, this matrix that we're experiencing everyday experiences. Those are the ones that are molding, shifting, and changing future generations to come. That's really the most important thing to remember, the level of interconnectedness that we are. And remember that everything that we do to evolve, because we're so interconnected and interdependent as well, is being communicated through our vibrational frequency, through quantum non-locality, because we're deeply, deeply interconnected. So everything is kind of moving and communicating with each other. So the morphogenetic field, essentially, the reason why it's important to know that is to understand that, and in the science and breaking down, we don't have time to discuss all of that in depth now, but essentially we have within that the key that we are more multidimensional than we are physical. That's the most important. Only 2% of your DNA is riding this physical body. The rest is interacting with the entire fields in many dimensions, which we're pulling information from. So what you're doing in dream time and the awareness of your activity in dream time is essential to ascension. So becoming lucid, waking state and dream state.
Wow. I know, right? She rocks. Laura Eisenhower is going to be with us in a moment. Tell us, what's the best way for people to reach you?
Please reach me at Geraldine Orozco in my YouTube channel. And it's such an honor to be here. Thank you everyone for showing up. And thank you, Scott.
And again, it's Geraldine Orozco, Orozco, and find you on YouTube.
Yes, YouTube.
Geraldine, thank you so much.
so much.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Hey. Well, we're going to go from one amazing person to the next amazing person. It's Laura Eisenhower. Good to see you. Hey. And Laura's been on our show going all the way back to the Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Drive days.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
She is, for those of you who don't know, she's a medical intuitive and an astrologer. Yeah.
That's right.
And what's most alive for you at this time, Laura? You've been in the field for a long time. I can remember going to see you at different expos a long time ago.
Mhm.
We've been around.
Right.
What's most alive for you right now?
Oh gosh. Well, I just got back from Istanbul, Turkey before coming here. And I feel there's a surge of people just taking charge, not waiting for government disclosure and understanding that that's not where we're going to get it from. It's up to us to make our voices known in these critical times where we're seeing all that's taking place on the Gaza Strip and what's been happening with Russia and Ukraine, that the delegates from these particular countries come together and say, actually, the people want peace. We have no issues with each other. It's you guys that are pitting us against each
Right,
other
that's right.
and generating these wars. So being a part of that was really huge, and just embracing everybody's mission and purpose and just feeling this camaraderie and unity is always like amazing. But it's moving to the next level.
Mhm.
As we upgrade as a humanity and within ourselves, the assaults and the psyops and the different tactics to take us down into digression begins to amp up. But seeing that the power of spirit is the override frequency that is like so much more powerful than that is literally crushing it, through the connections with our hearts and just our intent. Is de-weaponizing the weapons, because we are the more advanced technology over all of it. And the more accountable we can hold ourselves to the moments that we begin to drop in those lower vibrations with humility and mutual love and respect and support and forgiveness and compassion, to just kind of like self-correct instead of like feed into that and like let it like intrude and infiltrate, I think is what we're learning to master, that we've been needing to just pay more attention to for quite some time. And I just see a lot of people stepping up in a beautiful way.
Okay, so for those who are watching, who are feeling outraged, what's coming, the images we're getting from Gaza, the images we were getting before that from Russia and Ukraine. How do you transmute what you're seeing and anger, rage into compassion? How do you do that?
Well, we're elemental beings. And so we're going to experience a lot of different levels of our elemental energies, the water energy of like emotion, the fire energy of rage and anger. But the flip side of it is like, that water, that element, holds your connection to your psychic awareness, your intuition. What is your soul calling you to do? Like what is your part to play in these times? That fire energy is your passion and inspiration. If you're angry at something, you're passionate about something. So are you going to like take action? What are you going to do? Lead by example, or do something to shift your own, reality to like rise above, because you're winning the war on consciousness within yourself based on what you are reacting to.
Hang on, I just want to, I love what you just said. Living the war of consciousness.
Winning the war.
Within yourself.
Yeah.
So those words really just struck me like a lightning bolt. Winning the war of consciousness within yourself.
Right. And raising the vibration of like when we drop into those lower emotions, like to give it unconditional love, to not negate it and say, oh, you can't drop into that zone. Like when you go into that zone, give it unconditional love, give it healing, give it support, give it recognition. Don't turn a blind eye, but don't also get lost in the toxicity of it when you don't see the direction that it's like willing to take you, which is where your divine purpose resides. And that's when we begin to pull our resources together, build healing centers, advocate, have a voice for, the people that are not able to, speak up, to like just begin to move this in a different direction, and trust that their soul agreed to this on some level. Doesn't make it okay on any level, but you know, we've gone through so many catastrophes and traumatic things throughout our many lifetimes. And, you know, sometimes when we experience that, it's to show the rest of the world, you know, something that we all have to, you know, look at and remember. And we need to honor those souls and those lives by doing all that we can to support them being freed from this. But at the same time, you know, not losing ourselves too much to the grief, but processing through the grief in the most real way so that we can begin to find the solution and resolution, so that we're not in hopelessness, that we understand that we each are called to bring something to the table to make this world a better place. But
And
you
I
know,
like how you really, we don't deny the grief, but we process it, we alchemize it, and hopefully use that then as fuel for passion to go even deeper into our heart's desire.
yes, like what do we feel called to do? If we notice something outside of us isn't doing it, maybe that is what we're being called to do. And if we're being, you know, called to just process and pray and just like move through it, and you know, I mean, everybody's got their own unique calling, and the most important thing is that we listen to that, and that in that process of working through those emotions, that we begin to hear, you know, what the intuition and guidance is bringing us like to in ourselves. And when we connect those dots with each other, we begin to rise above, you know, this duality, and we see like miracles begin to transpire. We have more choice than we realize, you know, but we need to not fall into the psyops and the false flags in the way that the media is presenting it, because there are falsities and distortions there. I mean, sometimes when you go into these areas, you know, people are like, don't go there, don't go to Turkey, you know, this is happening, that's, but you know, it's like, you got to like walk through that fire. You got to, you know, just realize that you're going to transmute it by holding that victory within yourself, because you're not in the duality, you're not picking sides, you're in your divine innocence. You see the innocence and the longing within each soul, no matter how much they're being pit against each other, to see beyond that, so that we're not like falling for what they're hoping is that will enable the very thing that they're putting into, you know, the program. So if we win the war within ourselves, and we hold space for the integration of polarity and overcome the divide and conquer within ourselves, we will help the external war begin to dismantle, because we de-weaponize the weapons when we see the weapons as a tool for growth and upgrading, instead of further being assimilated into the AI or into the psyops to continue to be a host for parasitic and inverted forces, which is the matrix.
Laura, how do people get more of you? What are you promoting right now? Is there online course, book, workshop? What can people get from Laura Eisenhower?
Well, my website's cosmicgaia.org. My book, Awakening the Truth Frequencies, coming out in March. And it's all about everything that we just kind of talked about. And excuse me if the jet lag is like off the charts right now. So if I talk really fast and try to like articulate that. Yeah.
So I'm at your website, and again, it's cosmicgaia.org. And of course, there's Laura. And you can learn all about what she's doing. Definitely subscribe. She has amazing stuff. So give her your email address. Of course, Disclosure Fest, that's where we are right now. And that's, here we are, Stairway to the Stars. But is there anything you want to, are you available for sessions?
Yes, I do sessions. I will be back after the 20th of November. And I just, really help you to understand your astro chart, so that you can just see where the patternings are holding you down, and also seeing the doorway that they also open up, so that you can begin to move through these challenges and reclaim the treasures that have been dormant, instead of fall into victimhood and give your power away to something that is wanting to leverage your amnesia and your fear for its own benefit. So I just really help people just like break down that like social engineering and and all the ancestral patterns and all the traumas that we carry. So, we can understand that in these challenging times, we can upgrade in the face of adversity instead of fall prey to any further digression, because that's not what our human blueprint is about. We have so much to rediscover and remember about ourselves.
A lot of people are commenting, wow, if leverage your amnesia, that's a good one. And then see what else is coming in here. There's your website. Iota writes, I love what Laura is saying. Deeply appreciate her perspective on global conflicts. Absolutely. We can also send the balancing energy, love, healing, peace, truth, justice, harmony, and unity to any situation. We are not powerless, that's for sure. My dog just came back after being away for a little bit. So we've got a happy dog. Thank you, Deborah. Are the beloveds coming down soon? Okay, good. All right, so we'll wrap up with Laura. We've got Shelley Reef next. Laura, thank you so much. We'll take some time. Thank you for your decades of work.
Oh yeah, well, thank you for yours, and
Yeah,
much love to
we've
everybody.
done 500 of these shows since the start of the pandemic.
Incredible.
500 of
Wow,
them,
my gosh,
yeah.
you're a force.
You
So
too.
much.
You too. Takes one to know one. All right. Well, we're going to try to do some music. Now we're going to see if it works. So I'm going to need Omashar to tune in. Have a seat. This is Shelley Reef. And Shelley, when were you on the show before? When was that?
It was after Portal to Ascension, I think.
Yeah.
May, June.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So anyway, we had Shelley on once before. Now we don't know how our harmonics are going to be, so we're definitely going to chat with her. But we will go ahead and see if her harp works and if Zoom is enjoying the harp. So let's.
So make sure you have your original sound for musicians on.
Right, I will go do that.
It'd be great to talk about the
Yeah,
work
talk about
that
it first,
the
yeah.
harps you're doing.
Let's talk about it
first.
first, and then I'll switch.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. So what I do is not actually music. It's sound, and it's producing frequency. I'm not a trained musician by any means. I was led to this for the purpose of the instruments that I work with, and there are many. They support me in taking people to a higher state of consciousness. And my work on this planet is I'm a lifelong contactee. So I've been receiving, I have both experiences. I have abductions, lifelong history of abductions, which I had tied up and in control for decades until I started hanging out with, the Alan Steinfelds of the world again, and kind of opened up that can of worms.
So you had maybe kind of a Whitley Strieber-like experience of at first it was this terrifying thing.
Yeah.
And then it transitioned into seeing it as a spiritual awakening.
There were actually always both. From the time I was a young child, there was always a source of light. And I was started doing open eye meditations as a young child. And there would be a source of light that would come in and give me information for my life. So it didn't make for an easy life growing up in rural Kansas.
Oh my God, rural Kansas, and you're an abductee. Holy Moses.
So there was always all of this kind of like very high vibration information coming in, leading me through my life. I've lived all over the world, just kind of following wherever the calling was, and slowly being given the tools to teach or I should say lead others to an inner state of heightened awareness and have that be sustained, and then teach them the way to go back to it by themselves. So simultaneously, what I believe has been happening at this point is that the original experience is the light beings that come through me. And I believe that
I need to charge my phone, which is going to be in here.
Somebody needs to mute. Someone needs to mute.
I believe that the abductions, the implants, like the unsavory side of all of this is observing what's going on with the light, that the information that comes through me. That's where I am right now in it. So I've become, so recently been giving the information how to specifically take people on contact journeys using the
Oh.
instruments. And so it's beautiful and it's very safe. We don't do grays, we don't do reptilians, we only do the most highest
Canadians, I
frequency.
hope.
We do Canadians. We love it.
Canadians.
I say-
You said Canadians.
Yeah.
Well, we like our
We
Canadians. but-
definitely do Canadians, but we also do, yes, Pleiadians, of course, Pleiadians, Arcturians, interdimensionals.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I find that most people have kind of their own alliance, you know, that they already have, and it's about discovering that. I seriously believe, you know, I'm so on board with everything that Laura Eisenhower, I'm a big follower of her work.
Well, you're literally following her.
Literally, I'm following Laura
Right.
Eisenhower.
You are following Laura Eisenhower. Couldn't resist.
Yeah. Yeah, couldn't be more happy about that. But I really believe, you know, it's all within. We can't have any experiences in our external life that we're not already having in our mind. And so when we learn to go into the places in our mind where we allow and where we manifest different places in the mind, learning to navigate the mind to such a subtle and precise degree that we learn how to go into those places that allow for benevolent contact and cosmic intelligence to come through. And I believe everyone has their own alliance already. And so, you know, you're not all Pleiadians, you're not all Arcturians, you're not all, you know, interdimensionals. It's your own. And so there's one container that has been downloaded to me over decades. And I just got like the kind of the final bit of it this year. And the experiences have been just amazing. And I've had 100% positive experiences of people having the most beautiful contact and information. It goes through the high self, a lot of healing happening on every level.
Wow.
So I'm just, it's kind of an accumulation of a lifetime of trusting and following really this work.
So beautiful, Shelley.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, shall we try and see?
Sure.
Okay, now let me optimize. Let me do what I need to do audio wise.
You do that. So
Audio settings, and where is original sound? Here we go. Original sound for musicians is on.
yes.
Echo cancellation is on. Should we do high fidelity music mode?
No, just leave that because it takes a lot of bandwidth.
What's that? Monsieur?
It takes a lot of bandwidth if you use that.
Okay.
Just
So
leave it regular.
they-
When you go back to the original screen, make sure on the top left-hand side it actually says on.
Yeah, we got it. We got original sound clicked.
I should have brought my little microphone. You'll have to let me know. So this is a therapy harp. These harps are tuned in chords. I certify people. I'm the only person certifying people in these harps in the world. We have even CEUs through Yoga Alliance and lots of good things.
How's it sounding?
So it's not. On the top left-hand of your front screen, it should say on or off.
It's not.
I don't see,
Hang on a second. Let's see. I saw it flash for a minute.
there it is. It's off. If you click that, it's gonna
There you go.
Okay,
Okay, try now.
okay, now we're gonna try. So you have to let me know.
Here we got it. It's great.
So this tuning, this is the angelic tuning. These harps come in many different tunings. Some of them are very grounding. This one is very expansive and literally angelic. And doggies love it too, don't you? I have students who work specifically with animals who take these harps into the farms. We do a lot of hospital work with these harps. I get called on by the cardio unit when they have a patient who is panicking before a heart surgery, as they tend to do, because I can bring their heart rate down and into coherence. I can watch it on the monitor. And of course, guided meditation is something that's very part of these journeys. And I'm not going to lead you on a guided meditation right now. I don't know how much time I have.
Like, how long a guided meditation could you do?
Oh, I can do 2 hours, but
Oh, no, no.
we could do, but
Could you do
but
5 minutes?
we could do 5 minutes. There goes Bashar.
And then there's Daryl. Daryl,
Hi, Daryl.
say hello to our Global Peace Tribe audience.
You jump.
Okay, but
can-
real
you can
quick,
sit right here.
have a seat. And you've seen him on our show before. It's Daryl Anka, who, of course, is the channel for Bashar. Hey, Daryl.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What's the latest and the greatest? What is most alive for you at this time?
Well, just allowing people to get the energy that Bashar has to deliver and understand how important it is to follow your passion, because it will always support you. So go for it.
One quick question, and I'll let you go to dinner.
No, it's not dinner, it's an interview.
Oh, to another interview. When people are seeing what's happening in Gaza, what's happening around the world, and they're feeling discouraged and even outraged, what's your recommendation of what to do with that?
Well, we have to understand that as Bashar talks about, there's a splitting prism going on. So people are making all sorts of different choices, some of which are not going to be vibrationally compatible with what everyone would prefer. But we have to understand that we're getting everything out of our system and out on the table so that we realize that we do have all these choices, positive and negative, and it gives us an opportunity to decide what we prefer and what we don't.
And any example of how people can process it? How do people deal with it?
Well, again, I think being of service, finding compassion within yourself, being of help where you can, is basically what you can do. Take any action that you think will help guide us toward a more peaceful earth.
Beautiful.
So,
Thank you so much for dropping on in, and have a good interview.
thank you. I will. Bye.
And we'll just continue with it. And perfect timing now for taking people on a little bit of a journey.
I'm going to slow it down.
Slowing it down.
And I'd like to dovetail right on what Daryl was just referring to. The greatest thing that we can do on the earth right now, especially as there's war rising and so many tensions, is to find peace within ourselves. And it's the hardest thing that we ever do. In our own personal lives, when there's fear or anger, the hardest thing is to go within and find the joy, so that then our life can become a reflection of that joy and we get the result we want. And so right now, even in the face of war, pain, and anguish among humanity, fear, let's go to an angelic realm, a high state, a sovereign state within each and every individual present here. The greatest thing, and really I believe the one thing that we all came here to do, is to become sovereign in our own authentic essence. That original essence of exactly you, who you were born to be before any imprinting or opinions of any other people ever reached you. That energy is so pure, it raises the frequency so high. That is how we end war. That is how we end suffering on earth. That is how we ascend. So, it's calling on each one of you right now to take a little journey inward to the center of your mind, to a sanctuary that exists there, the most beautiful place on earth or beyond. Your sanctuary. And in this sanctuary exists your high self, that part of you that is the big I, the big you, that may occupy the smallest part of your being. But is brighter than all beings put together. And just take a moment to rest here, relax, in the realm of your own high self, your own sanctuary, the most beautiful place on earth or beyond. I'm inviting each and every one of your individual angels, your way showers, your guides, to come forth now and facilitate this work. I'm going to ask that any and all work in the name of time that is needing to be done, wanting to be done, happens in its own time, but it begins now and it continues until it comes to completion, even beyond this little mini session right now. Guided and protected by your angels, your guides. So I'm going to leave you in this place within, the sanctuary within, the temple of you. The more that you feed yourself the food that honors the temple, drink the water, take in the sun, the light, use the words, the language, entertain the thoughts that honor the temple within. Become that. This is how we end suffering on earth, because you are the only one, the one. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I'm going to turn off this so we don't hear the other
Thank you.
thing. Shelley, that is so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. It's just a little taste.
How do people get a bigger taste of you?
Oh, thank you for asking. March of 2024, March 20 to 2024, in the most beautiful retreat center. It's called Royal Way. It's Lucerne Valley, which is kind of at the base of Big Bear. 30 acres of designated spiritual retreat center. It's been there for 30 years. The frequency is so high and beautiful. It's where Michael Beckwith takes his big groups.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have a max capacity of 120. We're expecting around 30. So there'll be lots of room for everyone. Anyway, 5 days of learning to navigate the inner mind, and taking everyone to really create you as the receiver of this high intelligence information, and to take you into off-planet, benevolent, loving off-planet contact, and to connect you with angels and guides and spirits, and to sustain, to maintain this heightened state of presence for these 5 days.
Wow. And what are the 5 days?
Really ingrain it.
March
20 to 24, March 20 to 24 of 2024. It's very easy to remember.
That's easy to remember. March 20 to 24 of March 2024.
Yes, exactly.
That is easy to remember.
Exactly.
I like that. And do you have a website?
I do. Shelley Reef. It's SHELLY, and reef, just like the ocean.
I'm going to pull it up while you're talking and tell
And-
people a little bit more.
Yeah. And there you can learn not only about the retreat, but you can also learn about the HARP certifications. In January, I'm leading a training through the Soul of Yoga Sound Institute on facilitating guided meditations and This is for sound healers. You can play any instrument whatsoever. It's on leading 1 hour guided meditation, and it comes with several of my scripts. So you get those 45-minute to 1 hour meditations. So here you can see the retreat. Oh, early bird is on right now, and there's all about the harps. Yeah. So here you can see this is a body that I think with these harps are actually played on the bodies of people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could set it here right now, right up against your heart. If you lean it up
Let me
against your
turn this off. See. Oh, my. Ah. Hmm. Little Jasmine Berry's enjoying it too. She's right here in my lap this whole time, and she's just kind of gone into the relaxed zone while we're
Little
listening to this beautiful
bear.
harp music.
Little bear.
Wow. Well, the Twin Ray are going to be here shortly, and we might get a few words in with them. And then I'm going to go upstairs to another space. We're going to interview a few more of our people. Anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Please honor yourself, your high self. As I said before, you are the only one. There's no greater healer of you than you. And I truly believe the most important thing that we do in this work is in this world, in this lifetime, is become sovereign, become independent of all other influences so that we know who we are. And then we become one with all other influences. And that's when we raise their frequency just by raising our own. Global entrainment is what we're going for here.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Shelley, God bless you. Thank you so much for your patience being with us. And
My pleasure always.
and hopefully we'll spend a little more time together this weekend.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. And I'd
like
love
that.
to do another sound healing with all of my instruments.
Yeah, let's really do that. Do that up right.
Yeah, we did that once. It was great.
Yeah.
But I
I'll
have
do that
even
again.
more, so that'd be wonderful. Thank you,
I'll let
Scott, and thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, my pleasure, Shelley. Thank you.
Thank you, little bear. We love this. Bye, everyone.
Maya, how close are they to? Okay, great. Perfect timing. So we're going to hear from the Twin Ray briefly in a moment. They are on their way. Shelley, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh boy, it's been, I'll kind of do a little report for everybody. Again, welcome anybody who came in late. We are live from the Luxor in Las Vegas, where the Stairway to the Stars conference is in full gear. It started, people started arriving on Thursday, and by yesterday it was full blast. So today's kind of the middle day. We're gonna still hear from a few more of the amazing presenters. We're also going to go to an Omashar song shortly, but we're hoping to grab the Twin Ray briefly. And thank you, Grace Denise. And it's Ayada's birthday. Where is Ayada? Let me find her.
It's actually her mum's birthday.
I'm sorry, whose birthday is it?
It's her mother's birthday, and she's celebrating with her.
Here come the Twin Ray. We're going to turn the space over to them, but hopefully they'll share a few words with us before we do so. So I will turn the couch over to you, and here they are.
Blessings.
And you've got a lot of your beloveds are watching. Eager to hear all about your adventures and whatever you can share.
What we can
Not
share.
so much yet. We just need to make sure we have proper clearance to share. So
But what we can share is how much we love you all, and it was just a beautiful moment that we had giving a talk at Stairway to the Stars. We just outlines the 5 different evolutions of our species as we evolve collectively, as we evolve in harmony, as we evolve in unity and love. And so that was really well received. This is new for us to be here at the Luxor and at Stairway to the Stars, first time.
What's it like to be, could we say where you came in from?
Yeah. So we literally were in Israel. We actually flew in from Israel to be here, and we were there really on a mission, peace mission, and meeting with really people that are here to receive the message of peace and can do something about it.
They've been doing this global peace, traveling to different countries, doing extraordinary peace work. And how interesting to be coming from
The Holy
the
Land,
Holy Land into Las Vegas.
Jerusalem.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And what's
other
that like for
places.
you? How's that been for you?
Well, obviously Israel had been quite impacted with the situation at hand. And so being there, not only was it a ghost town in certain places, but the tears, the emotion there was quite present, as you can imagine. And so helping and do all that we can to help send our prayers, send our lights, send our love to specific places. And then coming here, it's just a continuation of that. There's a continuation of sharing that love, that peace, and it's completely different. It's a complete different spectrum. So from one spectrum to the other.
We can't say, we can't really tell you who we met with and what was happening at this moment, but we can say that we went to hospitals and we sat with wounded soldiers who were blinded, who had shrapnel all through their bodies, who had incredible stories of faith and perseverance and love to share and tell, whereby they were great heroes, and they were with us, and we were with them. So our team was on, let's just say our team was on the front line.
Yeah.
And that's all we can say.
Yes, and coming here and just being agents of peace and sharing the message and inspiration and the hope is really the potential that we have as a collective to evolve individually and collectively. And as we do that, and as we choose to focus on that, and of course participating in this beautiful community and the World Peace Tribe, it's about becoming agents of peace, each one of us, whether it's in our individual life, in our community, or in other missions that we may be sent on. And so this is for us a mission to anchor more lights and anchor more peace.
Absolutely. And so being here from the holy city to
City of Sin.
what they call and it's it's just to infuse everywhere we go. With every breath we take, we intend and emanate the infusion of love, of God, of divinity, and may it be felt, and may it plant seeds, even if it's not yet known.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, when we always talk about love, and we always get the question, well, how do you have love when there's a war, or how do we have love when there's a famine, or how do we have love when there's extreme times? And the reason why they're happening is because there hasn't been love. So we have to be love when people have forgotten to be love, forgotten that they have the source of love inside their own hearts. And so all these wars, all that's happening in the external chaos that's been shown to the collective is a result of truly not knowing what love is. And so love must be remembered, it must be embodied, it must be shared in order to heal.
These are the times.
Yep.
This is when the tests are the greatest. This is when the resolve is the most important. This is when the compassion has to reach out beyond bounds, beyond rationale.
Yeah.
It's not rational, it's love. Yeah.
So we love you all, we bless you, we appreciate you, and thank you for being a part of this one family of love.
Thank you for being with us, walking with us. Thank you for being a part of this incredible awakening world and this experience.
Yes.
We're always with you. We love you so much. We love beloved Scott so much. How he's integrated into our twin ray world.
Yes.
Oh, I keep getting there.
So,
I was trying to, there we go.
so beautifully. So beautifully. And
Oh, thank you.
how you hold us all so much in your heart.
They're They can't tell you, but I'm telling you what they are doing is amazing. I'm not allowed to go, but it's amazing what they're doing. And we are so blessed to walk with them. You know, they are walking us into the golden age, and how blessed we are, you know, at a time where there's so much going on in the mainstream media that can keep us trapped in the matrix. And they are guiding us out of the matrix and into the golden age. We're very, very blessed. Very blessed. We're going to do a little transition here. So I'm going to turn it over to beloved Omashar, who is going to bless us with his second song of the night. And we'll be transitioning, and I'll see you on the other side. Take it away, brother.
Beloved Omashar, so much love to you.
So much love to you,
Just
Masha.
Every time we come
Thee
in,
also.
never get-
Love you so much.
I love you too.
I feel you so deeply. Thank you.
So much love.
Thank you. Omashar.
Okay. Well, here we go. Gonna go here. Gonna go down here. Going here. Beloved one, please hold me in your arms, supporting me. We have traveled so far, earth and star. We are earth and star. We are the one desire unfolding, the one true love evolving, and we have traveled so far, earth and star. We are earth and star. We are, and we feel it deep within. We know it in our hearts. We can bear the pain of separation no more. So come on, come and join us. Here's a taste of what will come when you let go, give in to the one. The Sacred Heart is pulsing, radiant light, revealing, and we have traveled so far, earth and star. We are earth and star. We are an innocent child returning, pure and clear, emerging, and we have traveled so far, earth and star. and we feel it deep within. We know it in our hearts. We can bear the pain of separation no more. So come on and join us. Here's a taste of what will come when you let go, give in to the one. When you let go, give in to the one. We are earth and star. 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 We are. And we have traveled so far.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's all Twinkle Omisar. I'm going to gallery view. That's all Twinkle, our beloved friend here. Thank you so much. And a reminder that we can get all things Omashar by going to his website, omashar.com. And yes, we are your beloved family. And if you scroll down, definitely go to Bandcamp, because that's the best place to buy his music. Because we definitely want to support this beautiful brother that is absolutely such an incredibly important part of the awakening world. Really-
Thank you so much, Scott. And I'm still feeling Sananda G and Shakina Ma's presence. Holy smoke. And all the way through the song, they were just there beaming. So thank you. And thank you for that personal accolade.
Oh, absolutely. And it's true, Omashar. I mean, really, you are so important to me personally and to this show. I don't know if I would still be doing it if you hadn't shown.
Dude, it means everything to me. And we're all here to support each other. And here we are in action.
Beautiful. Well, JJ and Desiree Hertak are coming on down. They're going to join us next. But while I wait for them, I'll just share a little bit. It's been really something. You know, the Twin Ray can't say too much about what they've been doing, and I'll be careful not to spill beans. But I was blown away when they were sharing with me who they've been meeting with. I mean, it's at the highest level. And it's really beautiful how the doors are opening, that people as enlightened as the Twin Ray are able to be meeting with some of the most significant leaders and movers and shakers on the planet. And so it's very helpful. It's very, very helpful. Here comes Alan Steinfeld. All right. Let me move.
It is exhausting running around this hotel for you, Scott.
Alan,
the right people.
Alan has done an amazing job. He's who's been bringing in all of our different guests, like Laura Eisenhower, and he
Shelley
has
Reed,
and Shelley has been amazing.
Darryl Anka, yes. Okay. And I have a couple of more amazing people.
Two
here.
of our favorite
Yes.
people are here.
Yes.
And you know what? I will create the space. Go ahead and introduce.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I'm always that's
Tell
my
our
job
audience
is
a little
to,
bit
like,
about what you're up to, and then introduce.
Right.
JJ
Well,
Desiree.
this is a fantastic conference, and I've been. Let me show people my book in case they haven't seen it, which I'm sure they have.
This is the book, you guys. If you want to know what's going on in the whole UFO UAP thing, you get Alan's book, which is
this one. And actually, our next guests have contributed to this book, Making Contact, which is a real great overview of where we've come from as far as levels of awareness and where we're going to as far as contact, what contact looks like. And a couple of people are with me right now who know exactly what that does look like. I have the honor of introducing once again today for the 10th time, JJ and Desiree Hertak. And They are really experts because JJ in his 1973 experience had a metaphysical transformation where he went to the next level of awareness. And Desiree saw the whole thing, sort of, and they committed them lives to traveling around the world, awakening people to the contact experience. So JJ, why don't you talk about that?
Well, thank you very much. We're social scientists, we're futurists, we work all over the planet, trying to bring through education, music, and science, a better understanding of how we are multidimensional human beings who have a positive role to play in a world where we're beginning to understand that we're not alone in the universe.
And we're excited to be here at this conference, Stairway to the Stars, because it allows us to talk not only about extraterrestrials, but about angelic levels of intelligence we call ultra-terrestrials. And also today we were part of a panel on ancient civilizations, talking about how the ancients understood this as well. And it's just coming back to us today.
So we've authored many books. We've worked with many great musicians, composers, such as Stephen Halper and Alice Coltrane, great painters like Ingo Swann, great scientists like Russell Targ, people of different cultural backgrounds, but all who are interested in where we go from here as a world society, a world humanity. Well, and what we've done, as Ellen knows us so well, is to bring this out through musical experience.
Well, I want to ask you, though, where are we going as the world awakens to making contact, as the government comes forward, as whistleblowers saying something's wrong inside the halls of the Pentagon? Where are we going culturally as a society?
Well, I was going to say first, though, the reason, remember, we just did this lecture that you were introduced us for, and there's 3 levels why disclosure has not been happening.
Yeah, let's go.
And I want to go through that for a second, because the first thing is that Roswell was 75 years ago. Oh my gosh, so long ago. It's amazing. And then there were even things before that. We said Cape Girardeau,
in Missouri.
There was a crash and a being that came out, and they have a picture with them. And then even Aztec and Kingman, we just drove through Kingman, and Kingman was the crash that we believe actually started the Area 51, or at least was one of the major vehicles
In the early 1950s.
And there's a paper in the FBI files. It's called the Guy Huddle Memo 1950, which talks exactly about the Kingman crash.
And the Aztec too, right?
It's right there in the FBI files. So something's changing now. Something dramatic is suddenly awakening.
Suddenly we're aware that there is a higher level of cosmic intelligence that violates the laws of thermodynamics, is able to come here through a higher level of energy experience. And we are being taught this new knowledge through our retired astronauts, researchers like ourselves, musicians who have felt really a higher spark of rejuvenation. So we're going into a new sociology, a new planetary science, and ultimately, I believe in my writings that we are being prepared to be cosmic citizens.
Right, and it's become a community phenomenon. We're here in Las Vegas at Disclosure Fest. Next month, we're going to be in Mexico City at the World UFOlogy Congress. Then we're going to be at a TCCAG, which is another level of consciousness.
In San Diego.
And so this is kind of spreading bit by bit around the planet, and people are coming. There's probably a couple of thousand people here this weekend. And,
So we are futurists. We believe in a positive future. We're also archaeologists, as I said before, linguists, anthropologists. We work in many disciplines of the physics of life, and have worked in think tanks, and have worked with what I will call mind over matter studies with colleagues at Stanford Research Institute.
But we think we've really been quarantined on this planet for a while. We've been protected that these extraterrestrial species haven't been making themselves known until recently. And I say that until recently.
It's changed now. People are waking up. And if you start to open up to that level of awareness, you're adding to the morphogenetic field, which will make a leap of vibration throughout the whole of the human species. It's called the 100th monkey effect, the 144,000, whatever you want to call it. There is more people awakening to this, and the more people that awake, the more people will awake. That's just how the nature of the vibrational field
And
works.
Ellen, this results in a better psychology, results in ability to have mental aptitude to see through remote viewing higher realities, sometimes before they even happen, that reorientates us to take a higher path of understanding how past, present, and future converge if we take a different timeline.
We're living in a magical time where everything's changing, vibrations, relationships, our connection to the earth and each other. Everyone's becoming much more psychic. So how would you wrap the whole thing up?
Well, no, I want to emphasize that. I think that the veils are being loosened and we're not only seeing extraterrestrials, but we're connected with other levels of higher intelligence. And that gives us the ability to know more about the future, to do remote viewing, to see what's going to happen to us, maybe even just to choose which is the right, we'll say gas station pump to pull.
So we have a whole library of teaching, keysofenoch.org, where you can look at our books in many fields from Egyptology to space science. We have a plethora of music cassettes that deal with how we change the biorhythms and how we change the biosignatures of the way we think, sleep, and look into the future. And finally, books on sociology, economies, and ecologies of change, so we can prepare to network more effectively.
But all this is leading us to being actually more empowered of who we really are, that we can actually, when we see a storm, and of course that happened too quickly in Acapulco recently, but if a storm's coming, we can work collectively to deviate that storm. When we see things happening, like we've always had a lot of work with prayers, whether it's in the Middle East or wherever, prayers for peace, we have to be empowered for all of that, and having our connection to higher levels of intelligence helps us to bring that power.
And we are that connected to higher intelligence. I'm teaching a remote viewing course at lightnet.org. Look for the remote viewing. And people are non-local. They're activating this awareness that they can be in touch with everything all the time. It's the entanglement idea.
So we're graduating into a whole new reality where we are becoming aware that we are local as well as non-local to the higher power of consciousness. We can make great contributions to world unity and understanding by greater compassion and love. And thirdly, in the realm of new science, we have wonderful new books. Our book, Mind Dynamics in Space and Time, studies of research at Stanford Research Institute show the power on the gifts that we have if we want to use them to make, as it were, the bridge work we need on the tree of life.
So if you're in Las Vegas, join us tomorrow. I'll be speaking and you'll be around.
We'll be having a panel, unfortunately, at the same time speaking. Right?
Anyway, there's a lot of great things happening here. It's been a great 11/11 here and this Disclosure Fest. So Scott's going to come back on, close it out. Thank you, JJ and Desiree Hertog. Look for us in Mexico City, the World Ufology Congress.
Yes.
And we say peace.
Thank you, everybody.
Peace be unto you and peace be unto your spirit. May you be prepared for the quantum changes coming where we will eventually become cosmic citizens.
Yes, and some of us are already. Thank you both. Thank you. Scott, you're up.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, JJ.
Thanks, Scott. I have to say it's been a little bit exhausting running around, getting guests for you.
You're a heck of a correspondent, Alan.
I know. Well, I'm more like producing, grabbing people in off the casino floor there. But,
I know.
But it's been a lot of fun. And I know, I'm glad it was a good show. You had
and Alan and I are doing another show together on the 22nd. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's going to be a channeling show because everyone's channeling something these days. No, but I've met some really good people. And I got a woman named Marilyn Gadwick who's channeling Zazar. This woman, Jessie Herman, living in Italy, she's channeling the Vagrian, and you have a couple of people too. So it's about expanding.
Wednesday night, it'll be a Wednesday night show on November 22nd.
Yes, so join us there. I'll be a lot more hands-on co-host.
Okay, great.
But thanks.
Have a good dinner.
You know, we go back a long way, don't we?
1988. That's when we first met. 1988.
I know, and we're still connected. Not as much as you and your friend.
Okay, coming up, Jasmine Bear. Here we go. Well, I'm replacing Alan Steinfeld with Jasmine Bear. That's right. That's who I'm replacing you with. All right, there we go. Well, welcome back, everybody. Wow, 23 new messages since the last time I checked. So I'm going to read some of your messages so we can include you. George Noble says, I'm very glad you got there. Shakina looks most happy. You know, I want to say, I spent a lot of time with the Beloveds. I lived at their sanctuary this summer. And when I saw Shakina Ma 2 nights ago when they first arrived. She looked very different. And this trip that she was on, the people they met with, what they experienced, it's like she has matured even more. I know it's kind of a funny word to use, but there's even a greater depth of awareness, wisdom, embodiment of her mission, and literally physically looks different. It was really interesting. Diara, love from Ashland, thank you. Laura, yes, exactly. We need guides into the golden age, and those people, the Twin Ray, they're our guides, and we're very, very blessed. So I'm going to go through just reading some of these comments. Plus, it's nice to kind of connect with all of you because I've been like going from one presenter to the next. Usually I try and read all the Zoom room comments that come in to myself. Yeah, Omashar's songs are so amazing. Bacardi third to the rescue. Mark, I'm going to have to figure out what that means. When you, from Ayada, when you let go, give into the one, we are. I love this song, Omashar. Right, that was from the song. Thank you, Grace Denise. No, I drove to Las Vegas, and let me tell you, it was a long drive. I drove from my home in Tiburon to Nevada City and was in Nevada City for a couple of days. Went to a great concert, the Sterling Arrow concert. You remember because Eden covered for me. She did the Wednesday night show. Thursday, I drove all by myself with the dog, but she doesn't help with the driving. From Nevada City to Las Vegas, which was about a 9-hour drive. But I got my car and I've been tooling around, going to Whole Foods, getting food for the Twin Ray. They flew in, of course. And Sylvia, thank you, Sylvia. I really appreciate when Sylvia and Omashar put in the links. So thank you, Sylvia, for putting in the links to Omashar's Bandcamp. Ayada writes, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful tonight. I love having all these incredible guests with us tonight. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, right? I mean, come on, the Twin Ray, JJ and Desiree, Geraldine Orozco, Laura Eisenhower, Sarah Brexman. What an amazing group of people. Scotty Satori writes, wow, this is so exciting. I'm loving it. And yes, Alan was in the house. Pamela Luz Butters, we love you, Pamela. And she's commenting on lovely Omashar. Laura Chamberlain writes, it is such great news that the Twin Ray are bringing enlightened energy to the Middle East. I am overjoyed. Wait till you get to hear the details of what they did. Reverend Jeffrey writes, the science of UAP, how the fly science of the mass and the nature of gravity paper. Oh, okay. Yes, that's a very important paper if you guys haven't downloaded it. George Noble knows where Kingman is in Mojave County, Arizona, along Highway 40. Reverend Jeffrey continuing on about UAP and the International Space Federation, very important. Lord Chamberlain writes, Yahoo, disclosure. Now we can openly speak about our brothers and sisters of the cosmos. Yes, DR, the keys of Enoch. You know, JJ, who we just saw, he is probably now the eldest of the elders. Like Manly Hall has passed away, Yogananda is long gone. But I mean, JJ wrote the Keys of Enoch. I mean, I remember buying it as a teenager. I know he's got to be well over 90. And he's really, really, as best as I can remember, as I can imagine, I think he is the eldest of the living elders who have really helped to usher in our world. And it's wonderful to still have him. And the Keys of Enoch is like one of the great books. It's right up there with Autobiography of a Yogi. It's like a Bible of that our current New Thought world has been built on. And we're sure appreciating. There's the Keys of Enoch. Thank you. Lightnet.org. That's our good friend Zenka. And Zenka and Alan are doing a lot of wonderful work together. Grace Denise writes, towards a conscious cooperative world. Exactly. Jasmine Bear getting kudos from Laura. Yeah, Omashar says that he saw the deepening in them both. Eleanor Joy agrees with something that I said. It's my pleasure, Giara, to be doing this for all of you. Mark's now explaining it's a musical term, ending a deep piece of music with the glorious surprise major chord. Thank you for explaining that. When I thought Picard, does that have something? Are we doing a Star Trek analogy? I was in Ashland a few weeks ago. That's to you, George. It is a fantastic show. All right. I know. Can you believe how JJ looks? Pamela LaLou's Butters. We love Pamela LaLou's Butters. You know, those of us who were at the Sedona retreat, the Global Peace Tribe retreat, she brought all of her crystal bowls and she just led the most amazing sound healing journey. I've got to wet my whistle here. Give me a moment. Pamela writes, we are so blessed. Thank you for, oh, well, thank you. It's appreciating me. So thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Pamela. I'm shy to read these things about myself. I know. Can you believe, JJ, the way you look, Sayana?
Yes, and you need to take some credit. You're not someone to take credit, but we love you. I'm sitting here just enjoying the whole thing from my bedroom, but thank you so much, Scott. Really, we can't say enough for what you've done for the community and what you continue to do. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like we get to give the twinkle fingers to you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, I can see everybody twinkling me. Okay,
Yeah.
we go to gallery view. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That feels really good. Thank you. All right. Well, those are some of the, JJ was born, okay, somebody looked it up in 1940. So that makes him 83. Okay, so thank you for clarifying that, Omashar. Well, we've kind of gone through all of our guests. I should go back to speaker view and to me. There we go. Not quite sure what to do. It's a little bit early for us to end. And so, how about another Omashar song? I think we can do another Omashar song. Hey, brother, can you bail me out here? Bail us out? Bless us with your presence?
I'm always ready to bail you out, brother. Are we doing a KES healing tonight?
Yeah, Mia is lined up to do it. And I've texted her and told her we're going to be ready at 8 o'clock. She's driving back. The beloveds, the Twin Ray, are not staying at the Luxor. They want to stay at a non-casino hotel. So they're driving back to their hotel.
Good. I cannot see Sanandaji shooting craps. So
Yeah, no. Kinema was not interested in playing slots.
Why?
So they're at a different hotel, which and there aren't that many non-casino hotels here.
No, there's not. There really isn't. I had it's funny that they said they went from the Holy Land to Sin City because
Sin City to Sin City.
Hang on a minute. Because I got brought up, when you're brought up in England, you're anti everything that's not English. It took me a long time to peel that off. And one of the things I was told was Las Vegas is Sin City. And then, of course, I met the mother of my son, who was born and raised in Las Vegas. And I learned how to love it and the beautiful places there are and the wonderful families there are. So there it is right there. So let's play a little song, a little ditty.
Okay, thank you.
And here we go. hold on to. Contemplating what is pure and true. Sun, the moon, and stars and light, and earth and water too. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Glad to know we're coming home again. Open hearts and open minds and open doors and loving friends. Look at the one who's standing by you now. Destiny is in our hands, so leave the density behind. Oh, we are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Bonnie and Roger, I see you. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Glad to know we're coming home again. Open hearts and open minds and open doors and loving friends. Look at the one who's standing by you now. Destiny is in our hands, so leave the density behind as we are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew. Seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to. Contemplating what is pure and true. Sun and moon and stars and light and earth and water too. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Contemplating everything I knew. Seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to. Except the global peace tribe, right?
All right. I love that song so much. I love all of you. You know, because we're family, we can kind of talk about what I'm about to talk about. Did you notice that not once but twice I go to Eleanor Joy and Ian, and Eleanor Joy is doing the music, and Ian is giving the longest yawn in the history of the world. And then I think, well, I better cut because, so then I go to Bonnie and Roger, and Bonnie's doing her beautiful heart thing that she always does. And Roger lets off this big yawn. So
You do know that's a compliment, Scott, because when they taking another breath, breathing in Holy Spirit, it's because they're really present. They want to be even more present.
I appreciate how you're coming to the aid of your brothers.
Exactly. I resemble that remark.
Oh gosh, I love our family. I love watching you all dancing, and I even enjoy watching you yawn.
It is, and it's beautiful. We have this format because we've got to know each other so well, and everybody who's watching the other channels, that we can just speak freely because we're all family, whether we know each other or not. And so why not just be free, because it feels so good.
When you were doing the opening song tonight, and Sarah Brextman was sitting next to me, and I just met Sarah today. She doesn't know me or the Global Peace Tribe at all. And but as we were playing your song and I was going to the different people dancing, she was going, "Oh my God, they're so beautiful. Look at how beautiful they all are." And I'd go to Eleanor Joy and Ian, and I'd go to Ayada, and I'd go to Jeffrey, and and each one, and she was just like, "Oh, look at them." It was really sweet seeing her first impressions of watching our Global Peace Tribers moving and grooving.
Exactly. And some of the speakers, some of your guests tonight were talking about this field that we're in. And I don't know if I think it was Alan who was mentioning how just us putting our attention into the morphogenic field, the astral planes, the whole kit and caboodle, we're lifting each other up. And I've lost completely the train of thought that I was going there. but it was something profound. So there we are.
Well, I'm going to chat for a minute, and then hopefully Mia O'Brien is going to join us, and she's going to close us out with a KES group healing.
Beautiful.
Mushar, thank you so much for just always being right there.
My pleasure. And I guess what the moral of that story is that we're in this all of the regular Zoomers and all of those who regularly tune into Facebook and YouTube, we have created this safe container, and every time we tune into it, it's like we pick up where we left off on last Saturday or last Wednesday or last meditation, because I feel so full every time I join in with our family here, and I leave here, and it takes at least a couple of days to
absolutely. And happy 11/11, everyone. This is a sacred day. It's Veterans Day, because this is when World War I ended, as was just pointed out. So Lord Chamberlain has asked a good question, and I'll answer that question until Mia comes on. By the way, I want to say hi to Ellie. I saw Ellie dancing. Scott, would you please talk about what it is like living with the Twin Ray? What does everyone do at the Haven? Is it regimented at all? Is it monastic? Do they grow their own food? Well, first of all, let me explain that the Haven is a store that they have in downtown Ashland. I was actually living at the Sanctuary, which is, they've got over 200 acres of land with a beautiful temple on it already. It's a large home, but we call it the temple. But what's exciting is they have big plans to really build community there, to put up a lot of yurts, to build buildings. I mean, 200 acres is a lot of land to work with. We do want to grow food. We have not started doing that yet. It's new. They just moved to Ashland a couple of years ago, I guess 3 years ago now. The Haven opened a year and 3 months ago. And there's about 35 people who have moved to Ashland to be close to the Twin Ray. But it's not an organized community in that way. It's definitely not monastic. Most of the people who are part of the Twin Ray community have their own homes. There's only a handful of people that how do I describe it? The sanctuary, really, there's only the Twin Ray that live there full time. And then there's some of us that come through as guests. DJ, who you've seen on the show, is at the sanctuary frequently because he helps support the Twin Ray in many ways. Also, Maggie sometimes lives there. And they also always have guests coming through. But it's not a big organized community yet. But there's big plans for that to happen, which will include growing our own food and having more and more businesses that are Twin Ray oriented business. Of course, right now, the one we have is the Haven, which is a store with beautiful crystals and jewelry and all their bioceuticals. You know, they've got all these products that they've created that are very beautiful products. Yeah, so that's kind of where it is right now. It's really new. So let me tell you, if you're interested in getting in on the ground floor of a great community, Ashland is a good place to be. And I want to say that I feel blessed because I'm very connected to many communities. There are the Sedona community, a lot of amazing people. Oh, good. Here comes Mia. There's a lot of amazing people in Sedona, Arizona, and there's quite a community forming there. There's a wonderful community in Asheville, North Carolina. There's a wonderful community in Austin, Texas, and down in San Diego, Encinitas area. So there are communities popping up, peaceful places. Mark Janisowski points out about San Diego and Encinitas as Yogananda's chosen home. So, we're finding each other, and we're going to find the places, the pockets, the peace pockets where we will land. I see that Mia O'Brien has joined us. And so I'm going to, in a moment, kind of turn things over to her. Looking ahead to next week, on Wednesday night, the theme is We Are Agents of Change. And we've got two beautiful guests that have both been on my show before that I wanted to really go deeper with. And so Lori Spagna, and then Catherine Bird. You just saw Catherine Bird on the show a couple of weeks ago. So that's going to be Wednesday night's show. Mia, we're not seeing you. There she is. Great. Her camera's on. And then next Saturday night, a week from tonight, I'm going to be collaborating with Jennifer Hill again. You all know Jennifer Hill. She's been my co-host 3 or 4 times, not for a while. And we're doing a show all about resilience. She's got Roland McCleary, who is the president of Heart Math Institute, will be joining us, and several other amazing. Jennifer always gets amazing presenters. So that's going to be next week's show. All right, everybody. Thank you, Omashar, for the beautiful songs. Thank you, everybody, for participating. What a fun show. The Twin Ray, Geraldine Orozco, JJ and Desiree Hertok, Sarah Brextman, I'm forgetting, Daryl Anka, Bashar. What an amazing, Shelley Reef. What a really fun show. And as you know, we now, on every Saturday night, we complete our show by bringing in one of the people who are at the master level of KES Group Healing. And I'm going to bring on right now Mia O'Brien. Mia was our very first person to do a KES Group Healing. And before we go into that, I know she can't say much, but Mia has been traveling on the same jet with the Beloveds to Mexico and multiple countries. I can't even say all the countries, but I can say 5 countries in, I think, 2 weeks. So what's that been like for you, Mia, traveling with the Beloveds and just this amazing global peace tour?
Yes, Scott, and that's exactly what it was. It was a beautiful peace tour. It was meeting so many beautiful people that are doing the same thing that all of us are doing, and doing it in a collective way, doing it in a unified way. And when you bring these beautiful people together who really have the potential to take things to another level, to dig things deeper and begin to now merge and unify and collectivify and energize. It's beautiful. It gives me hope that I've always carried in my heart. It gives me even more faith for all of us doing the work, and definitely the ramifications that will have on not just all humanity, but all sentient life. So it's been beautiful, and I look forward to the next mission.
What's it been? I mean, certainly it's, you've already said it's brought you hope. How about just your own personal evolution to be with the beloveds in such an intimate way for 2 weeks, and then to see all the powerful interactions? How has that impacted you personally?
Yes, because you get to, you get to see things on so many levels. You get to, be in that space and time of being just very intimate, one-on-one and informal, yet very focused and very driven. And, it's also very fast paced. It's not like, you're just going around and having, a grand old time. There were many situations where it was very serious, very focused. And so yeah, it can be taxing physically. But at the end of the day, you always have to remember that in those circumstances, that's where you really stand in your mastery, where you're able to hold this peace within, this stability within when there's chaos around you, a lot of chaos. And so it's beautiful. It's what all of us are aspiring to do now, is to really hold that strength and that mastery and that peace and that love within, so that is what is being magnified out, not being a part of the chaos that is potentially around you and being reflected.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Are you allowed to tell the white olive oil story?
I'm not sure about that. That's something that we will probably have to wait and check. There's many things that occurred on this trip that is not ready to be spoken into yet, because it's still solidifying, it's still anchoring in and integrating. And so it's really important to be in such precision and allow it to unfold the way that God wants it to unfold, and not our own will. So one day I hope to tell you the story, because it's, it's one of the stories of just pure joy. And these people who are doing this magnificent work, that are so humbled and have no clue, honestly, no conscious clue. I'm sure they have at some soul level. They are very, they are being completely assisted, but they're doing this really kind of unconscious. And so they don't know what the beauty that they're doing. And so as you interact with these individuals and you know what they're doing, you know what the outcome is, what they're doing, and they're just so humbled and not conscious of it. It's just, it's really just an amazing experience to witness. Like they don't know what they have. That's really the bottom line.
Well, thank you, Mia, for just the beauty of how you hold so much. Your dedication, your devotion. You've been with the Twin Ray for a long time, one of the real original people. And I'm always inspired by you. I also will tell people, this is what makes Mia special. Now, it's really cool that she's so close to the beloveds, but the best thing about Mia is my dog loves her.
Jazzy Bear, love Jazzy Bear.
Jasmine Bear and Mia have quite a relationship.
We do.
Know that she can be this close to the Twin Ray and to Jasmine Bear. She's a very special soul indeed.
Thank you, Scott, but I'm just as equally close to you. So
I love you and I respect you, and I
love you too.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to you to take us on a KES? Maybe explain to new people watching. Our core audience knows by now, but of course, there's all the new people watching on Facebook always. So maybe just give a little introduction and then take it away.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that. So really, Christic energy system, for those of you who might be new for it, it really is, it's not a healing modality. I've done so many healing modalities, but when this came from the future, when Sanandaji and Shakina Ma brought this system back from the future, and I began to take the course and really, identify with it. It was incredible. It was truly a remembrance for me. And so, I quickly, brought it into fruition and was able to work with it. And then, as you work with it more and more and more, I've done thousands and thousands of sessions, then it's really, it's so magical that when you can hold the frequency, we can hold a field of frequency, energy, vibration for groups of people to be able to just surrender and release and let go all of those things that are not, that don't serve them anymore. And, be able to watch the magic that happens with that, with your own souls, your own higher counsels, your own guardians, your own guides, and have that be overlit by these ascended masters and celestial heavenly hosts, and of course our beautiful Mother Earth and the solar system, the galaxy, the cosmos, and beyond, to watch the magic conspire in this unified field, in this frequency of all possibilities and potentialities, because there truly is no time. And so this is timeless. And to do it not only in this lifetime, but to do it with all of your soul lifetimes and aspects, all of your mothers, all of your fathers, all of your grandmothers, all of your grandfathers, your whole soul family tree, to be able to send that frequency in to ripple up and reverberate out everything that is ready to be let go and unidentified with, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and beyond. So this is the day. This is a beautiful 1111 portal. You can't make this stuff up. And this is a day to let go. This is the day to gift yourself this beautiful time to just open up even greater and allow the light to come even deeper. The more you let God in, the more you shine and let God out to all sentient life around you. So get yourselves very comfortable, cozied, wrapped up, however you like to receive your own gifts. And let's just go on a journey. Let's go to this space and time where you're not your body, you're not your mind, where there's only God and there's only love. There's nothing else. And so I always like to return back to the breath, because the breath controls the thoughts, and the thoughts control the words, and the words control the emotions, and the emotions control the actions. And so when you take it all the way back to the breath, you become still. You become timeless. You just be. Be here now. In this moment of stillness and nothingness. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. Just letting all the thoughts go, all the words go. Allow the magic to happen. You deserve this. And so we're just going to begin to invite in all of these beautiful heavenly hosts and earth beings, our beloved Mother Earth and Gaia, beautiful queendoms and kingdoms and sacred directions, elements, forces, our beautiful souls and higher selves and councils and guides, angels, healers, our beautiful guardian animals. Let them all in. Allow your bodies to rest within the center of this earth. Allow your consciousness to rest within the center of the galaxy. Within the great Father Sun of the great Golden City. While you just be. As we just listen to some beautiful high frequency music, soft, to allow you to go even deeper. I'm just going to begin now to pour in this beautiful indigo blue ocean of light all the way down into the crown of your head, allowing it to seep into the master cell, going into each and every cell, this beautiful indigo blue ocean of light of God's selflessness, drinking it into every cell, drinking it into every organ, every gland, allowing it to pour through the blood, seep into the bones, and deep into the bone marrow. Allow it to cleanse the kidneys and cleanse the adrenals, allowing all of the fear, all of the stress, all of the anxiety to flow out, even greater, even more. Feeling this indigo blue ocean of light of God's selflessness to begin to saturate and bathe your entire body, allowing it to be re-imprinted from being a collective body, a collective humanity of self-service, into unity, into serving the all, to serving God, into just being in service. And allowing this indigo blue ocean of light to flow out into your bioenergetic fields, pouring through your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your astral body, your causal, Akashic body, all of your Akashic records and beyond. Feeling even more saturated and more bathed in God's selflessness. Allowing yourself to feel the power that you have to be of service in all your words, in all your actions, unraveling all of the mental thought processes, entanglements that keep you hidden, keep you small, binding you, attaching you to all that is not God, all that is not God's love, all that is not the freedom of God. Binding and attaching you to things outside of you, taking you away from the truth of you, the pure essence of your own love. It is not selfish to be you, to take care of you, to focus on you, As you, so all. Drinking in this indigo blue ocean of light even deeper now. Deep into those areas within your body that try to convince you that you were worthless, unworthy, not belonging, feeling abandoned, not a part of, feeling shame, guilt, resentment, grief. As we make a special blessing for the beloved who lost their grandson. Maybe allow this opportunity to be selfless and have a collective blessing around that. May each one of you and the collective all be so blessed in God's love, in God's grace, in God's truth. As we anchor this in, as we ground this into the divine ascended Mother Earth, the golden sun lines, the golden sun, the golden city, the golden template, the golden child, aligned with the Holy Mother, Holy Father God. The golden flame, the golden liquid light, as we return all back to the one heart, to the one breath, the one love, the one consciousness, the one creation. As we thank the Holy Mother, Holy Father, God of the Most High, as we thank our beautiful souls and higher selves, the higher councils, the guardians, the guides, the angels, the healers, the guardian animals, this beautiful ascended earth and Gaia, all of the inner earth beings, all of the heavenly realms that serve the golden age. How lucky we are, how grateful, how humbled we are for all that came to serve us. I thank each and every one of you for allowing me to serve. It is my greatest joy. I honor you and I thank you. It is done. It is done. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, thank you so much, beloved Mia.
You're so welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Mm. It's been a beautiful, beautiful evening. And I don't have any words other than I love you, I adore you, I honor you, I respect you, and I know our audience is appreciating you very much. Do you want to give people, are you available for people to book private sessions with you?
Oh, always is my greatest joy to serve. So anyone.
And is it best to contact you by email still?
Sure, yeah. Probably the best email is O'Brien, so MOBRIEN 0369 @gmail.com.
I get it right there.
And I
M-
do,
Yeah, I got it.
yes, and I do see somebody who had mentioned that they integrated an ancestor. There were many ancestors that I experienced in this session. So thank you to all of the ancestors that came. And God bless the person who lost their grandson.
Mia, thank you so much. Thank you, beautiful Global Peace Tribe. Those of you that are still with us, and I see almost everybody stayed with us, which was a good choice. I'm going to gallery review one last time. Good night, everybody. Have a beautiful sacred Sunday tomorrow. Remember, we can see the divine in all things, and that's a beautiful way to practice the sacred Sunday. And I'll see you on Wednesday night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.